Coming up on City Span, Savannah's future is looking bright as Mayor Jackson outlines her initiatives in the annual State of the City address.
City leaders and business owners meet to help make Savannah a more business-friendly community. And several major commercial developments promise to change the face of downtown.
Stay tuned. City Span starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Margaret Williams.
And I'm Brett Bell.
Welcome to City Span, your source for news and information about Savannah City government.
First up, with spring just around the corner, that means it's almost time for Savannah's annual St. Patrick's Day celebration. The 4-day festival kicks off on Friday, March 14th. The Savannah Waterfront Association event will feature live entertainment on 5 stages in the downtown festival zone. More than 60 bands will perform over 4 days. And while the entertainment is free, if you wish to drink outside in the festival zone, you must purchase a wristband. And there are some things you should know. Cost is $5 and wristbands will be available at 24 locations. Go cups cannot be more than 16 ounces, and coolers, non-service animals, and fireworks or firecrackers are not allowed in the festival control zone. That zone includes all of River Street, most of Bay Street, and City Market, including Ellis Square.
For a more family-friendly event, check out the city's annual Terra Feast on Saturday, March 15th. The feast, our festival, will be a feast for the eyes, ears, and palate, with live performances, food, art activities, crafts, and games. Headlining this year's festival is the McLean Avenue Band. Terra Feast is held in beautiful Emmett Park along the eastern end of Bay Street. Hours are 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., with main stage and children's stage performances running throughout the day. Of course, the main event of Savannah's St. Patrick's celebration is the parade, among the largest in the country. The 190th edition of the parade steps off promptly at 10:15 a.m. on Monday the 17th, winding its way through beautiful downtown Savannah. Thousands of people pack downtown to see the procession that features many of Savannah's Irish families, numerous floats and marching bands, and equestrian and military units. If you plan on attending the parade or just joining in the celebration downtown, remember that parking is strictly enforced. There's no parking along the parade route beginning at 6 a.m. the day of the parade. Cars parked along the parade route after 6 a.m. will be towed. Consider parking in one of the city's 5 downtown garages or at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center on Hutchinson Island.
Also remember that you're not allowed to set up in the squares until 6 a.m. on parade day. You may bring along folding chairs and tables, coolers, and tents no larger than 10 by 10. But keep those grills, music systems, kegs, scaffolding, advertisements, barriers, bartenders, private security, and porta potties at home. We also ask that you clean up after your celebration and clear out of the squares by 6 p.m. so our guys can clean up.
If all this information seems overwhelming, not to worry. Throughout the 4-day festival, you can get up-to-date information on the city's special Facebook page at facebook.com/SavSt. and on Twitter at twitter.com/SavSt. You can also visit our website, savannahga.gov, for general information and helpful links.
Now, Margaret, you're a St. Vincent's girl.
I am.
St. Patrick's Day is in your blood, right?
It is. Actually, when we were in elementary school, all of the parochial schools had to march in the parade. So we've passed that, but you'll see a lot of St. Vincent's girls out there kissing those Benedictine guys in their uniforms.
You going to put on your ruby red lipstick?
No, I'm not. I will be working. It's a work day for city employees.
Well, we hope everyone comes down. It's always it's a great Savannah tradition and always a good time.
It is. Be safe. We're asking that everyone be safe.
Mayor Edna Jackson delivered her State of the City address at the Savannah Civic Center last month, outlining 4 initiatives she said were key to the city's future.
Number 1, the Canal District, the centerpiece of the SPLOST plan that you approved in November, is construction of a new $120 million arena to replace our 40-year-old facility. We are developing a plan that will connect this community with the residents of the West Side and the rest of downtown through a series of new roads, walkways, historic canal features. This will serve as a catalyst for development of the entire West Side, and it will expand throughout this community. Number 2, support the arts. Art today is big business in Savannah. It is part of the reason the city this year will contribute more than $750,000 to local art organizations. That's where you see, when you see all of the programs that are put on by the city. Number 3, improve our infrastructure. We're going to build in 2014. We will prepare to do whatever we can. Nothing is more important for economic development than taking good care of our roads, bridges, pipes, and water supplies. Number 4, improve public safety. The goal of the city manager and our police chief is to make our police department a model of integrity.
The mayor didn't shy away from the current situation with Metro Police. She said the ongoing investigations have been painful but are nearing the end and critical for the future health of the department.
Until we get rid of those that disgrace the badge, then we must continue what we're doing. We honor our police department. The people complaining about current efforts to clean up Metro are those who are even threatened by change, those seeking power during this transition, or those who are attempting to make money off of this process. Pay them no attention. They will not distract us.
The mayor asked for the community's help in increasing opportunities for youth, protecting and preserving our natural environment, reducing poverty, and creating jobs. You can watch the entire speech at savannahga.gov by clicking on the SGTV link.
The city's efforts to make Savannah more business-friendly continued last month with an informative session at the Savannah Civic Center. The goal, to help minority and women-owned businesses better understand how to become contractors for the city. The event provided a look into the city's registration process and procurement practices. City Span's Jody Jenkins has more.
You know, we realize at the City of Savannah that small business is really the heartbeat of this community. And we've been hearing over a period of time that small business oftentimes experience difficulty with our procurement process. In order to bridge that void, we need to talk about what the issues are.
And so opened the city's first ever listening session for minority and women-owned businesses in February. About 60 business people and city staff and officials attended the forum, touted as an opportunity for MWBEs to get a better understanding of the bidding and contracting process and to make it more user-friendly. It was the latest in a series of steps the city's taken to foster a more pro-business environment in Savannah.
It is going to be a session so you can let us know what your needs are, how we can help you, and how we can work together.
After opening remarks, city staff led businesses through a PowerPoint of the procurement and purchasing processes to help them better understand what's involved in becoming a contractor for the city. They provided an overview on submitting bids and proposals and requirements such as insurance and business tax licenses. There was also a review of the MWBE certification process. George Seaborough, representing a group of local women and minority contractors, said the session was unique for city government. But he said the initiative will require continued engagement if it's going to have a real impact.
The biggest thing is to constantly be able to work with staff and our officials on fine-tuning the NWBE process, but not only NWBE, but also identify ways to bring in more contract opportunities for local partners. Well, I think it's a good first step. Whenever you have the city coming together and asking for the people to give their advice how to make the process better, it's unique. It gives us the opportunity to let us know what some of the problems are. But I think more needs to happen.
Seaborough said there's a fear among MWBEs that should they air issues about the process or problems with general contractors, they might be blackballed from future projects. He said another issue is prompt payment. He said often subcontractors are not paid for months and have little recourse, which can be devastating for small businesses with tight cash flows. The session comes in the wake of the November passage of the Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, or SPLOST. And the goal of the evening was to find ways to help local minority and women-owned businesses land a piece of the contracting pie for such projects as the $190 million arena slated for West Savannah. While city officials did not respond to questions or criticisms, they vowed to provide a detailed response to each concern at a follow-up work session to be scheduled sometime within the next 45 days. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
Recent moves by an Atlanta developer to pump new life into Broughton Street brings to 3 the number of high-profile projects planned for downtown. And it brings to nearly $300 million the amount of dollars in new commercial development. Combined with large public works projects like the new arena, the Cultural Arts Center, and roads and drainage projects, Savannah's economic future looks bright.
It's looking like something of an economic harmonic convergence. Last year, Savannah had more permitting for commercial development than ever in the history of the city. That combined with the expansion of the port and the event arena planned for the west side might seem like reason enough to be upbeat. But in February, Atlanta developer Ben Carter presented plans for a $75 million investment in downtown around Broughton Street. It includes the purchase of dozens of properties to be converted into commercial footage with leases to high-end clients, as well as lofts to bring more live-in residents downtown. And right on its heels came the groundbreaking for a $100 million development on the east end of River Street. It's a counterweight to Richard Kessler's proposed redevelopment of the Georgia Power Station on the west end of River Street. Another $100 million. All totaled, that's nearly $500 million in major projects. Nearly $300 million of it to be injected right into the heart of downtown Savannah.
Investors who have been on the sidelines for whatever reason, the economic cycle and otherwise, have been looking at Savannah and looking at our resurgence and saying, okay, it's time to make a really big play in Savannah now. Whether it's somebody who's in retail development like Ben Carter, or somebody who's been iconic in hotel development like Mr. Kessler, or North Point. There are a lot of other things that are going to be going on at the same time, and I think we are now on the radar screen, so to speak, of the major developers that are looking at North American markets.
Shea said the key to all the activity could lay in recent discussions on the transportation front, which could tie all of these projects together in one great big economic bow.
If I had to say there was one thing that we need to do that would really foster all of it, it'd be streetcar. If we could actually tie these different things together, the Civic Arena, the Visitor Center, the new Cultural Arts Center, which we're fortunate to be working on, the hotels on the River Street, and the residential areas where people could afford to work and live downtown, and to work in these places, that would be tremendous. I think that would be the one thing that would really make sure that we had a very healthy urban future here in Savannah.
While all of these projects will take time to unfold, they're no doubt harbingers of good things in store for Savannah. For CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins reporting.
Coming up on CitySpan, celebrating Black history in Savannah.
And later, a whole new take on tourism in the Lowcountry.
Welcome back to City Span. I'm Margaret Williams. The City of Savannah sponsors several major festivals throughout the year, offering residents the chance to see world-class acts at little or no cost. February brought us the 25th annual Black Heritage Festival. Memorable moments from the festival included the Spelman College Women's Jazz Ensemble tribute to Savannah's own Ben Tucker, and the balletic performance of the play Flying West by Pearl Cleage. It's the story of a group of Southern blacks who became pioneers and journeyed to the all-black community of Nicodemus, Kansas to start a new life. The festival also featured a performance of G's Binge, a look at the lives of the African-American women in Alabama who turned to quilting as respite from the harsh realities of racism, abuse, isolation, and despair. The festival mixes exhibits, cuisines, lectures, and performances to educate the public about the history of African Americans. The theme of this year's festival is Dare to Dream, Create a Legacy. As part of this year's festival, the city's Cultural Affairs Department conducted a poster contest for area youth who interpreted various themes of African American history. Winners in several grade categories were honored at a ceremony at the city's Space Gallery on West Henry Street. The poster contest was made possible in part by a grant from the Georgia Council for the Arts. The Black Heritage Festival is co-sponsored by the City of Savannah and Savannah State University.
Savannah has always remembered our dead in style. From Colonial downtown to Laurel Grove on the west side and Bonaventure on the water, our cemeteries are famous.
In February, Alderman John Hall and other city officials, as well as members of Savannah's Department of Cemeteries, gathered for a ceremony dedicating a newly developed 2-acre section of Greenwich Cemetery. Speaking to the small crowd in a soft rain, Hall said it was only fitting that the city provide for its citizens who have gone on.
We provide all of the things for the living, but it's only fitting that we provide something real grand for our citizens' final resting place.
The 65-acre Greenwich is one of 5 cemeteries operated by the city and was expanded because it was nearing capacity. It's located on the site of the former Greenwich Plantation, once considered the most magnificent privately owned estate in the South. The cemetery was established in 1933 as an addition to Bonaventure. Its abundance of natural plant and wildlife and scenic views of the Wilmington River and adjacent marshlands makes it one of the most relaxing settings in all of Savannah.
It's not just March and the coming of spring that has Savannah thinking green. Environmentally friendly, alternative energies, zero emissions buildings, sustainable jobs, and even the fast-growing sector known as ecotourism can be equally green. And one project picked recently at the Savannah Economic and Development Authority could contain all of these elements. City Span's Jody Jenkins has more.
This isn't Bali or Micronesia. It's the beginning of a whole new take on tourism in the Lowcountry, incorporating cutting-edge design and clean technologies with an eco and social consciousness. And it's called Nauvoo, Neighbor in Gullah, a high-concept resort wrapped in low-country culture, history, and cuisine, set in the pristine wilds of the Georgia-South Carolina coast. That's the vision of RDK, a French-Canadian developer hoping to reinvent the way the world looks at Savannah.
Savannah is seen in a certain way, and which is as a very quaint place.
But there's the more nuanced, modern, and progressive side to the antebellum, the SCAD and the Gulf Stream side, that RDK says is ready to embrace a new kind of image and a new tourism. Denny Lapine said the idea was born during his visits to the Lowcountry and his search for local culture, particularly the Gullah and Geechee. Nauvoo caters to the new breed of socially conscious travelers seeking authentic experiences while caring for the planet and reinvesting in local communities. And he said Savannah has all the elements necessary to make such a vision a reality.
There's a need to give back now in the world, and it's an economic driver. People will change brands to a brand that actually has a social and cultural or biological agenda initiative. All the elements are ready. All the groundwork has been laid. Everybody understands it. Everything's ready. You know, there's some organic growers. There's people that understand installation and repair of photovoltaic or from wind power and biking, and it's all here.
Patrick Shea of the Savannah architectural firm Gunn Meyerhoff Shea, who was present at the presentation, said ecotourism in Savannah is an idea whose time has come.
And I think Savannah's ripe for it. You know, we already have a green thinking city. You know, the idea of sustainability, Savannah has embodied it now for about 280 years. I think that the ecotourism movement, and it is genuinely a movement now that's worldwide, that Savannah is kind of a ready-made for it. I mean, we have this really amazingly, wonderfully comfortable environment to begin with, and you know, beautiful river delta and the Savannah Wildlife Refuge, and you know, we have a lot of really wonderful natural splendor here. Being able to stay in a resort and be a short distance away from a camping trip on Little Tybee Island, or being able to get out offshore and you know, look at experience the Gulf Stream in a number of different ways. Gray's Reef, what an amazing resource.
Lepine said RDK is beginning the project with a farm-to-table restaurant in Savannah, focusing on local cuisine with Gullah Geechee influences. He said if all goes according to plan, the operation should be up and running in 2014. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
Each month on CitySpan, we team up with the folks at Bank on Savannah, an initiative of Step Up Savannah, to provide you with easy tips to help make the most of your money. With more, here's Richard Reeve from the Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Savannah.
Is your bank account working for you? Now is a great time to assess if your bank fits your financial situation. Today, we'll talk about factors to consider when you're shopping for a bank or credit union. The first factor to consider is, do you prefer a bank or a credit union? If you tried both, which worked out better for you? Remember, both institutions offer many of the same services. Banks are community, regional, or national for-profit corporations owned by private investors. Banks have customers. They aim to generate profits and boost shareholder value for investors. Credit unions are nonprofit financial membership organizations owned by their members. Members are often affiliated with an employer, a community, a county, or even a state. Any profit generated by a credit union is returned to its members in various ways, such as reduced fees or competitive deposit rates. Whether you decide on a bank or a credit union, you want to consider 3 additional factors when choosing a financial institution. One is convenience. Look for a financial institution close to where you work or live. Consider using online and free phone banking. Find out the hours including Saturdays. Another factor to review is cost. What are the ATM fees? How about NSF or overdraft fees? Know the cost of out-of-network ATM withdrawals. The final factor to consider is benefits. Find out if the accounts pay interest. Do they offer free online bill pay, smartphone apps, or free checks? Will they link your checking to a savings account to cover any overdraft? Whether you choose a bank or credit union, always shop between several institutions. For more information about Bank on Savannah, visit stepupsavannah.org. For more information about credit unions, visit ncua.org to do some homework online. The important thing to remember is you have options. Make sure you have a financial institution that works best for you. Until next time, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
Coming up on CitySpan, Happy Feet. Irish dancers take to the stage.
And later, sound financial footing. 32 years in the making.
Are you a low-income homeowner in the city of Savannah? If so, you may be eligible for the city's free volunteer summer home repair program. Work may include ramp and fence repairs and exterior painting. Only single-story homes are eligible. Applications are being accepted through April 15th. For more information, call the City of Savannah at 651-6517.
Welcome back. A crowd favorite of TerraFest, the family-friendly Irish festival held in March, is Savannah's own Gloria Nadir Irish dance troupe. Our own Erin Seals kicks up her heels with instructors Abby and Brent Wood in this month's The Beat.
I've been teaching here in Savannah 18 years. My husband and I joined together in 2010. So was teaching independently as well in different cities. So I snagged him and he became part of it. And we revamped the school and changed it since it was a new start and a new life. So we were officially Gloria Nadir in 2010.
Okay, so you qualified for the World Championships in London. When are you guys going?
April 10th.
Yeah, Easter week. And this is Rika McDermott.
Hello.
And how many times have you gone over there?
Three.
So only 1% of all Irish dancers only make it there one time in their life. And she's made it 3 times. That's how good she is.
Oh, wow.
This is her first time qualifying and going, so it's a big deal. It's like our Olympics.
Wow, congratulations, ladies. How long have you guys been dancing?
8 years.
Oh, wow. And how long have you been dancing?
8 years.
8 years. Okay, well, congratulations.
I grew up dancing in Savannah since I was 12 years old, and so did my husband, actually. So we were so excited to hear that the Cultural Arts Center was coming in, and Bernadette Winters and all her gang were joining in. So from the very first TerraFest, we've been on that stage.
Okay. Well, I would actually like to see if someone would like to teach me a move or an Irish dance move, if that's fine. Do I need to take off my shoes? Probably. All right, I'm ready.
All right, okay. All right, so we're going to start with your feet crossed, so right foot in front of your left. There you go. Now the very first thing, super easy. Push, lift, swing, and back. Push, lift, swing, and back, 2, 3, 4. Good. Change. Lift, swing, and back, 2, 3. Change. Lift, swing, and back, 2, 3, 4.
The Beat.
And finally on City Span, a 32-year era has come to an end with the recent retirement of Dick Evans. For 3 decades, he guided the city's financial strategy as finance director, CFO, and most recently, acting assistant city manager. During this time, Mr. Evans kept Savannah on firm financial ground. He devised a strategy that reduced Savannah's property tax rate by 30% and kept our water and sewer rates among the lowest in the nation. He also helped some of Savannah's most complex initiatives: creation of a new enterprise fund that built 5 parking garages, restoration of Ellis Square, construction of new water treatment plants, the police merger agreement, SPLOST and local option sales tax strategies. Dick Evans' fingerprints were everywhere.
Well, you know, part of the decision on retiring at this time is driven by the fact that I would expect little will change in the way of finances because we have in place right now a good staff of people who will be able to carry on, and we have a finance director who is ready to take up the reins and carry on very competently. And because of those things being in place, I feel comfortable leaving, because it's not going to create a great deal of disruption for the city. I think one of the keys to the organization is the council manager form of government. I think most people in the organization embrace it, and it's the idea that you elect policymakers, in our case the city council and the mayor, who set policy, and they in turn are responsible for hiring a professional manager who then has the job of efficiently and effectively carrying out those policies. And that dichotomy of professional management, elected policymakers is the key to good local government. And I hope it's the sort of tradition that has worked well in Savannah since the early 1950s, is one that will be carried on.
Last fall, the city's bond rating was upgraded to AA+. That's already saved us more than $1 million in bond payments, and it's a testament to Savannah's firm financial position created by Dick Evans. He will be missed.
You know, Brett, 32 years in financial stability for the city because of Dick is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you know, he was a rock up there in the third floor of City Hall for so many years. He's the guy that I always turned to whenever I was stuck in a problem. I'm going to miss him personally.
I'm definitely going to miss his witty sense of humor.
Yeah, his presentations before council were famous.
Yes, they were. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of City Span.
Don't forget, for the latest news and information about the City of Savannah, keep it tuned to SGTV. Visit our website, savannahga.gov, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Until next time, I'm Margaret Williams.
And I'm Brett Bell.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home.